I wanted to do just a quick review before I actually messed with any of the applications. I think at this point I've only added like 2. I added like Amazon Music and another GPS thing. One of the first things you'll see how quickly it comes up. One of the cooler things that I experienced about this, or thought was really cool about this setup, is the fact that it has the little, where you choose your vehicle's emblem or whatever for your own splash screen. And this Octa-Core setup is so fast, I don't even think I've seen that one time. So it's kind of like one of those cool little things that you think like, oh, I can configure this to do my own logo, but on this unit it's so damn quick, it just goes right past it. So no matter how long it's been off, you turn it right back on and boom, it's straight on the stereo or whatever function that you normally listen to. This is all stock, but the home screen is got a little bit of customization as far as where it is on the regular screens or whatever. Like here, right now I've got it all messed up just because I was moving all the ones I rarely use way down here, toward the end. So I was just trying to clean up my home screen. So I got a lot of things out of order, just trying to use mostly from the main screen. At this point, have radio, and you come back out of there, you can pair it with your Bluetooth. Right now I don't have any programs up, so that, and then we can go back to music, which kind of senses the USB, and that's, as you can see, everything loads immediate. So you kind of know just from it being that Octa-Core with the 2 gig RAM. I mean, that's basically double of everything. You got double the space, double the quickness, and of course the processor does so many functions so quickly now. I unlocked it, but I never see it because it's just so darn quick. So one thing to note on this system, on the Xtrons system, it is the admin passcode to get in there for the factory settings. It is 126. That kind of threw me off because most of them are that default, like 1 2 3 4 5 6, I think it is. But yeah, this one is just 126, so don't drive yourself bonkers trying to come up with that. But overall, I mean, it's a pretty good interface. Anyway, I did want to point out the little fact that the custom logos is kind of null and void on this because it's just so darn quick. It's ridiculously quick. And on here, you can kind of choose, and these are the obsolete ones that I'll probably rarely ever use, and these I just haven't straightened up because there's a couple apps that I want to try out to add to make everything a little bit more functional. But I did want to kind of show things with all factory settings before I get into modifying things too much. So once again, this is kind of like, this is what I'm organizing my home screen for, so I can get all the functionalities that I need. The default apps, they're par, they're okay. I wish I had a little bit more usability as far as being able to delete these. There's quite a few, like there's a few on here, like if I click on torque, it does give me the option to go down here and delete that one. But most of them, just because they are actual Android functions, it don't really allow much to do with it. So I'm trying to move things around. Just so I can organize a little bit better, or at least get rid of the icons. I don't necessarily need to get rid of that, but I was hoping that I could get rid of the icons that seem to be doubled. Like there seems to be 2 of the music function and you know, obviously that's not really something I really need. So you know, I got, you know, you got music, you got the Bluetooth functionality. This is just USB music. This is for torque when I do get my Bluetooth thing installed. You know, you can go into your settings, you know, and you can configure your hotspot. As far as the hotspot functionality, it's pretty bad. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I've connected it, but the connection is pretty darn terrible. You know, you get out there and it's kind of like hit or miss if it's actually going to work or not. And you know, like, it's just, the antenna is not that strong. It is what I paid for. You know, it's, you pay $100 more for the Octa-Core, for the extra RAM, for the extra ROM usage, you know, and it's not so much that it's that much better than a quad core, but if you think, you know, like, every time you buy something, you also want to future proof. And with this, you know, like, it kind of adds, so in the future, as apps get bigger, as apps put more strain on the processor, you know, this makes it a little bit better. So you know, your radio is going to last a little longer. So, you know, rather than get a dual core or a quad core, you know, that are going to be strained a little bit more as, you know, time goes on. You know, technology never really makes things easier on computers. It makes it harder for them to do things, so we can do more with it. So yeah, I mean, overall, you know, pretty great radio. I mean, you can go in and do amplifier settings and all that. You know, tomorrow I'm planning to start adding the backup camera, so I'll be able to do a little bit more with that. But just for now, I wanted to give a glimpse of what it looks like without being really modified at all. You know, I may be adding like a custom like launcher or something like that that seems to work better for the car, but most of the ones that I've seen designed for car stuff look just terribly cheesy. So we're going to see how that goes. But yeah, this is all pretty stock stuff. But you can see how smoothly the stuff scrolls, and you know, it looks pretty fluid. So I don't know. I'm pretty impressed. I'm really anxious to see, once I get the backup camera, possibly a camera or a DVR, and what else I'm gonna do. I also got a subwoofer. I got one of the small shallow mount subwoofer. I kind of got one of those too. So with this and the options, that's where I'm kind of